Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another fourth stimulus check unemployment benefits extension update. So today's update, I really want to take a revisit to talk about the fourth stimulus check once again, because the story right now is that we actually now have even more support than ever in order to try to do the fourth stimulus check. And while that might sound relatively repetitive, there's a lot of new information that has come out, and even certain things about, I guess you can say, the country's situation that is relatively changed that might impact now the fourth stimulus package or / fourth stimulus check. For example, is that right now, because there is a lot of programs that have recently just started or have announced that they will be starting very, very soon, examples of this would be like the unemployment tax credit refund, the child tax credit, and actually, interestingly, even the end of the unemployment program in select states, the 21 states, which is, really, obviously it's been really sad, but hopefully today is going to offer maybe a little bit more positive and hopeful video, because a lot of states or just a lot of politicians are now taking notice about the fact that many states are ending their unemployment relatively early. There is a lot of belief also now that there may actually be certain states that might now be trying to preach for a fourth stimulus check in order to maybe potentially make up for it. But the idea is that there's definitely a lot of new information that I really want to talk about, and I really want to end this maybe by talking a little bit about how we may actually very much see a possibility for a fourth stimulus check, but just maybe in a different way. So it's all going to make more sense, but maybe real fast before we get right into it, consider smashing the like button, because at least today we're going to be talking about something more positive and hopefully more hopeful after most of that last week. And as always, consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification button for similar videos like this, especially if we are able to now soon get a lot more information to come. And also, as always, feel free to comment any thoughts about or questions about honestly just really anything at all. So with that being said, let's just get this video started. So the story with the fourth stimulus check / fourth stimulus package negotiations right now is that we now officially have about 80 politicians that are now in support of it. I believe the last time we made this video was probably around 20 something, so we're really growing in that part. But actually, even more so is that one of these people that we've now officially gained support from happens to be Kamala Harris, and I think most people probably know who she is, the Vice President of President Joe Biden. And while it is true that at this time President Biden still hasn't really responded too much about what he personally thinks about the fourth stimulus check, other than the fact that he was pretty much just hoping to leave it to Congress, because we now officially have the Vice President Kamala Harris in support of it, it is very possible to think that she may now maybe try to step in to maybe try to convince Joe Biden in order to do the fourth stimulus check, especially because at the end of the day, they are, pretty close friends at the end. I mean, they work together, more or less. They probably work the most closely together than any other politician out there. But actually, even more beyond that is that there are 7 politicians from the Ways and Means Committee, and if you're not familiar with who they are, we kind of talked about them in a couple past videos, but they pretty much wrote some of the stimulus proposals dating back actually ever since the second stimulus check. If you guys have been here for a while, huge thank you for maybe supporting it since then. You guys hopefully maybe remember. And if you guys are brand new here, welcome. Consider subscribing if you guys haven't done so already. But essentially is that those 7 politicians inside of the committee, they recently wrote a letter to President Joe Biden now, trying to urge him, and even more so about why it's even more needed to do a fourth stimulus check. I'll put that letter actually, because it's actually not that long. It's literally just 2 pages and you guys can read it. I'll put it in the description, or maybe I'll just throw it up right here, so that you guys can pretty much maybe just pause and scroll through if you guys happen to want to read it. It's the first page of it. I'll put the rest of the letter inside of the description or inside the comments if you guys are interested. But maybe even more so actually is that because of what's been going on with the unemployment situation, which is relatively sad, but hopefully this video can maybe offer a little bit more of a hopeful side to it, it is very possible and actually relatively believed right now is that because a lot of states are now starting to end their unemployment programs relatively early, there are some politicians that will, and likely maybe even more, that will be joining in to possibly try to voice that because a lot of the unemployment programs are ending earlier, they may actually be an even greater need now to do the fourth stimulus check, maybe to actually make up for it. In fact, actually certain states have actually even now started to kind of create their own programs that they might be offering as kind of a way to maybe, bring them as kind of a little bit more of like a get back to work bonus or support. I probably will make a video talking a little bit all about the individual states just because there's 50 states, so I probably want to reserve that for another video. Consider subscribing if you guys haven't done so already and you guys potentially are really interested in maybe hearing updates about that. But the idea is that because of everything that has been recently going on is that there is definitely now an even more increased support of trying to do the fourth stimulus check now more than ever. And it probably leads on to maybe the final point that I really want to just talk about is that actually many states right now at this current time still have a lot of funding from a lot of like the state government and local aid. So there are certain states that actually are now talking about maybe even doing their own individual state stimulus. So why this is very related is because I think it's very fair to say is that in order to try to get a fourth stimulus check, they're almost definitely, actually at this point, pretty much in order to get any kind of fourth bill, whether this is infrastructure, anything that has the word fourth in it, I think that the likelihood is that they're probably going to go through some kind of budget reconciliation. But even more beyond that is that because there is still a lot of mixed opinions, even within the Democratic Party themselves, about doing the fourth stimulus check is that many states, I believe, are contemplating now trying to create their own stimulus check using a lot of their own individual funds. I know California, as most of you guys know, did their like Golden State $600 stimulus check. And there's actually certain other states that are now contemplating doing it as well. It just hasn't been official, so we're kind of just waiting for more information. Once again, consider subscribing if you guys are maybe interested in hearing about that if more information eventually does come out. But the idea is that because of that reason, I actually do genuinely believe that we may actually very much see some kind of fourth stimulus check. Maybe not necessarily on the federal level, although that very much can happen, but even if it happens to be on the state level. And I think at the end of the day, most of us, if we're able to have some kind of program that puts money inside of our pockets to maybe bring relief, especially during a time of such need, I think that's probably what the majority of us really care about, which is good. And I think that's the big thing to note. Now, do also note maybe another huge hopeful thing, and we talked about it in yesterday's video, which I'll also put at the end screen as well, is the fact that there are actually now many politicians that are now coming out to try to fight in order to try to keep the unemployment, or to basically reverse the decision to keep unemployment in as many states as possible. Many that are even trying to question the legal side of it. I'll put the video that explains it all in the very end screen, because I do think it's very interesting, especially if you are maybe looking to hear something more positive and uplifting. But the idea is that if 21 states can suddenly end unemployment, I think hopefully it's fair to say that 21 states, or I guess in this case 29 states, because it's probably going to be the other states that want to bring relief, can very much also do their own stimulus check on the much more state level. But the idea is that that's really just what I really just wanted to share in today's update, to maybe offer you guys that some brand new information about it. And the idea is that there's at least more hope than where we stood 2 weeks ago. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, remember to smash the like button if you guys hopefully enjoyed this, especially because at least it is relatively positive news. And as always, consider subscribing for more updates, and feel free to comment any questions or personal thoughts about honestly just really anything at all. Welcome if you guys are brand new here, and a huge thanks if you guys have been here for a while. It's truly always really is greatly appreciated. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.